Katy Joy Freeman with rawpeople.com, and I am so happy to be here at Raw Spirit Festival East. We just started our morning off here in the beauty of the East Coast. It's kind of humid and lush and green. And my first event of the day was attending a panel on the ideas about transitioning into the raw food lifestyle. And there were several speakers contributing to questions that people had and offering tips on how to live this beautiful life. And one of the speakers was Swami X, who is standing next to me here, and he was gracious enough to give us some time to talk about some of the things in the raw food lifestyle. And one of the things that I want to say is just welcome, Swami X, thank you for your time.
Thank you, of course.
And he's here, he's from New York and came down here to Maryland to participate in this wonderful event. And Swami, I'm referring to my notes here. One of the things that you said during the talk was that, you know, it's individual, this transition. It's not, there's no cookie cutter way to transition into the raw food lifestyle. And it's about tuning in. And it's not really about the food, although the food can bring us to a place of feeling better, and it's a part of the lifestyle. You really had a lot of things to say about tuning in and making decisions. I think you said free to make our own decisions. And I was wondering if you would talk to us about how do people work on themselves so they are really free, because I think there's an illusion sometimes of being free, but it's a deception, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And I would love it if you could talk about breaking conditions and that we have in patterns.
One at a time, girl.
Yeah, I know. So if you could just touch on that,
Okay.
anywhere that leads you, that question.
All right. Well, first of all, we're all unique soul matrix patterns. So we all came here to express our own unique expression of life on this planet. So if my expression chooses to smoke 5 packs a day, who is someone to tell me that that's lesser, as long as I'm not harming anyone else? Right? So we get a lot of times caught up. Remember, we're talking about raw food, raw life, spiritual life. We get caught up in the dogmas that we leave the church and take with it the dogmas about right and wrong and bad and good. No, it's about each of us expressing our own unique expression. So one way, are we free? It's the old Matrix question. Are we free? You know, every one of us just about has been raised by parents who brought us up a certain way. How many of you were born a Christian, a Jew, a Mohammedan? None of us. We were born a spirit, but we've been conditioned, brainwashed into a certain pattern. I'm not saying it's useless or useful. I'm just saying it is what it is. Parents, teachers. How many teachers reward you when you're feeling anxious and excited and want to just run outside and you stand up out of your chair and go around the classroom? How many teachers reward that? Any of you out there? Now, my teachers didn't reward me for that either, right? Some people have a lot more energy, and I believe all kids have a lot more energy unless you drug them out. And they may not want to sit down all there, so we have to honor individuals. So the teacher tells you when you're quiet. The parent tells you when you're quiet, that gets rewarded. You got 100 on your test, I give you a reward. So now we're about utilitarian, how well we perform, how well we contribute. And we think, you know, we grow out, and our priests and politicians all tell us again, well, you have to care about others, and they propose this plan, and you go, well, I have to care about others because they say that. Or sex before marriage, well, that's wrong according, and even if you have the sex, then you start feeling an underlying guilt. So it's very hard to get in touch with all this about, wait, when is our decision, what's us? So one way to do it, how do we, you know, do it now? I'm screwed. How do I take the red pill?
Help us, Swami X, help us.
Well, it's going to vary for different people, of course. But one way is always self-study, self-reflection. In yoga, they call it svadhyaya. And I find it one of the most beautiful growing tools to grow. Is every time someone gets you frustrated or whatever, or, you know, someone gets you angry and you go, ah, that jerk, he threw his garbage right on the street. And we go, anyone could say, yeah, he's a jerk. I can retell the story to you when I get home. You're like, yeah, he's a jerk. But really, who cares whether he's a jerk or not? What buttons are being pushed in me? Why is it upsetting me so much? Well, I think we should all be responsible for the world. Okay, so that's a belief that I'm holding on to so firmly that it's going to make me upset for my whole day. Is that worth it? These are all self-reflections for you. Do you want to be miserable all day because someone was a jerk to you? You just gave that person tremendous amount of power over you. Okay? So self-study, reflecting, all your ideas. It would be nice to make a list, okay? I believe, you know, I'm just making a few up, and none of these are right or wrong. It's all individual. Premarital sex is bad or wrong. Unless you believe in this guy, you go to hell. Look at all these things that you believe, that you think you know, and see, how did you come to that conclusion? Most of it is because we were told, yes. No one came to the conclusion that unless I prayed to this God, I'm going to hell forever, unless someone told us that. Okay? So, you know, a lot of the challenges in the raw food world among the experts. Did you guys see Good Will Hunting, of course?
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting. So there's a beautiful scene where Robin Williams is sitting on the park bench with Matt Damon. And he says, you know, you upset me with something you said last night, and then I realized something and didn't think about you again. And I'll make it shorter. But he said, you know, if I talk to you about art, you can quote me Michelangelo. You might know his paintings, his catalogs, where he painted. You might know his sexual orientation. But have you ever stood under the Sistine Chapel and smelt under there while you look up? If I talk to you about love, you might tell me some girls you got laid with and this, that, the other. But do you know what it's like for someone to look at you and level you with her look and know that you'd do anything with her and stay with her for anything, even cancer? And he goes on. Okay? That's real life and that's experience. And in the raw food world, there's a lot of people playing Good Will Hunting. They cut and read and paste in this, and there are even some experts who are really cut and read and pasting this. It doesn't mean the information is useless, but it means it's not from their heart. They haven't experienced it. Until you experience something, someone can tell you, I know a friend, you know, garlic, it's all good, detoxing, kills germs. When he takes it, his skin breaks out tremendously. Oh, it's a cleansing effect, this, that. Is it? Or maybe does his body, has it developed some type of allergen to it? So just to read that garlic is good, this or that, it might not be for everyone. And that's a challenge for all of us to start exploring for ourselves. You eat a food, how do I feel about it? Maybe you feel bad, but that might be a part of the process. We've been told, conditioning, you have a headache, that's a bad thing. Take a pill, take it away. No, the headache is telling you something is going not ideal.
So you really, I love what you're saying, and you're really capturing the idea of something I love to talk with people about, which is being mindful. And without judgment, looking at our lives on purpose, pausing, and slowing down enough to really tune in and to know at any given moment, how do we feel, and what are the smells around us, and what's going on in our body? Are we tight? Are we loose? And so I love that you're bringing that into, that's how we start to get free, is starting to pay attention. But you have to pause to do that. And I know you live in New York, and you are a health practitioner and a personal trainer, I think among many other things, a yoga instructor. And so you have these opportunities, it sounds like, to help people pause and to go within. And if someone is at the very beginning of this, let's say they've been filled with a lot of conditioning and dogmas and shoulds and guilt, where's somewhere they can start to go within? What is one step they can take to just pause and do that self-reflection? Maybe they're intimidated by that language even. Do you have some advice for people on that?
Sure. Well, one thing we could always do, this is helpful, it may not sound directly related, but I think it is we can always, what we tend to focus on, this is the law of attraction, right? What you tend to focus on with your emotion gets pulled to you. So you go, I need money, I need money. What you're emphasizing is your lack of money, and that follows you around wherever you go. What we focus on a lot is what's not working, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in our bodies. So we go like, man, my knee's killing me. But, you know, you don't pay attention that your body's still functioning and able to walk around and, you know, carry you, right? We look at a relationship. How many times do we go, wow, honey, thanks so much for just giving me that smile. It lifted my day. No, we go, why are there dishes in the sink or this, that, you know? We focus on the negative. So I think each of us, look, there's a lot of frustration in the world. None of us are going to deny that, right? And to deny it is living in denial. That's not anything. But while we look at that, and while we might want to be active to change that, we also, let's look at what's working.
Yeah.
You look at highways and cars driving, and there are accidents, but man, 1 million people driving, swerving, this, that, and somehow we're not all dead is a miracle, right? So there is a lot that's working. And, you know, our news talk about more conditioning programming. Why do they call it TV programming? The news is all about generally negative stuff. Oh, this murder here, this. Now, let me ask you, why is a murder